Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bob and AJ Applegarth.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. Back from a very exhausting, but mostly fun Disney vacation. I am tired. Feet hurt. Tired of yelling at my kids. So I'm here, drinking some beer, talking some baseball with my co-host, AJ Applegarth. Oh, Jesus, shut up. What's going on, man? Heard you went to opening day. How was it?
I did indeed. It was a great game. The Yankees lost. Hashtag suck it, Keith.
Immediate.
I don't know if you're a Yankees fan, but I just wanted to throw that in there because why not? It's the opening day that should have happened yesterday. Thanks, weather and Mother Nature, for effing up everybody's plans. But I guess it was a Good Friday indeed. Happy Easter, everybody. Welcome to the show.
All right. So that's done. Glad to be back. I wasn't supposed to be part of the show, but you know what? Came back and figured I need to have some fun. Let's talk some baseball with my
you
friends.
Came back and you were like, yeah, this guy pieced out after 18 minutes last week. So, yeah, my feet hurt, but why didn't we do the show last night?
I mean, I wasn't going to call you out, but if you're going to call yourself out, sure, let's do it.
Accountability is paramount in life, Joe. Okay? If you
all
cannot
right,
take accountability for your actions, then you end up like that douche in your Dynasty League.
Wow. And my guest, Dap, is laughing his ass off in the background. I can see it. It's pretty good. All right. Anyway, so before we get going, guys and gals, hit that subscribe button, hit those like buttons, leave those reviews. We appreciate it. And if you're watching live, comment. Talk to us. We will respond.
Give some questions, people.
It's good stuff.
Test our knowledge.
Become a subscriber, also an all-access subscriber to Fantasy Six-Pack. Go to FantasySixPack.net/plans and sign up to become an all-access member. You get access to our award-winning rankings, the most accurate rankings, actually. DFS, betting content, and projections. We've got our Discord, which, if you are a member, you will get custom advice for your league. We have lots of people asking us questions left and right, and all we hear is good things from the advice, and that's helped a lot. I've helped a lot. We've got guys that are pretty much always readily available to answer questions for you. Whether it be waiver advice, trade advice, start sit advice, streamer advice, that kind of stuff. So we're there to help you out. So again, FantasySixPack.net/plans, and if you also play football, we're going to be rolling out more football stuff as the season gets closer. My early rankings are already out, but I'm also going to be building out a draft cheat sheet for that as well. That's going to be getting started here in the next week, and hopefully launched by the end of the month. So we got that going for you. So
yeah, we got people that know things. So come check us out.
Just maybe, just
it's
a
on
few.
You.
So. All right, well, with that said, let's bring on our guest, returning, and I don't know why he's returning. I mean, last week was he was awesome, but also
he was in the spotlight, and
you're
welcome.
Shit show last
you,
week,
sir, are welcome.
Yeah, so and because of that, we've put AJ at the bottom. I love how it did that. Cool. But Dap, what's up, man? Welcome back. Glad to have you back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
So you guys know Dap. He is a contributor here at Fantasy Six-Pack, mostly for YouTube, but he does help out in the background on our waiver article that goes out. It's mostly written by Connor, but Dap is does help out, pick up some of the players. He's got a little snippet every week as well in there, so check that out. So let's get into things here and do our beer of the week first.
Beer.
So, Dap, go ahead and do your advertisement.
Tito's vodka. When you absolutely can only last 14 minutes on your show and have to leave early.
18, Dick, and I don't drink vodka.
Minutes.
And if I did, I wouldn't drink it out of a little pissant bottle like that one. If you're going to promote something, at least have some size, okay? Larger is better. What is that? I mean, is that a toothpick? Is it like a mini microphone?
Tito's vodka.
It's
Most women say size don't matter, AJ.
It's in the palm of your hand, and you can drink it like this.
I'm sorry. Everything looks small in my big hands. I apologize. Tito's vodka.
Okay there, Kenny Pickett. Calm down. All
right, AJ. What you got after, I'm sure, a few at the
Well,
at the park?
I was drinking the last of my stadium beers that I
was going to say, did you walk out with that?
home. Fuck yeah, I did.
I didn't even know they let you do that.
They don't. It's called Pockets.
It's called opening day, and they can't catch everybody walking out at the same time.
I wore a jacket, and I am strategery. Okay? Strategery by definition. Instead, I know nothing. I don't know. I will drink this Founders. They might be 4 Giants hazy IPA that you gave me, actually. Yep. So just one more thing that you are dawning down to me as a knowledge base, I guess, for beer this time. So thank you, my friend. I wish I could somehow wear your shoes someday.
Okay. So, I have no idea what's happening again.
What is going on? Why am I back on top? I didn't pull a switcheroo here.
That was.
I might have just injured myself.
That was Mike. So I'm drinking a Nepenthe Odin's Bane double IPA. So it's pretty solid here. It's a 8.8%.
All right.
Go hard after a week of exhaustion and walking around in 95-degree weather. 95-degree weather. I'm already dehydrated from just being outside in that weather for 5 straight days. Sure, why not? I'll just go hard with beer and just pass out mid-show. Seems like a good idea. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's get rolling here, guys.
Turn the camera off, though. Turn the camera off. Nobody wants to see.
Let's get rolling here, and we're going to talk about some opening week. We did opening day reactions last week.
Is it opening day that was not? Because of all these stupid postponements yesterday. I mean, they ruined everything.
There was only 3, but yeah.
No, there's 4. Actually, there's 4.
Were there 4?
Trust me, I counted. I was there, and I was all.
You counted. You were at all 4 games that were postponed yesterday?
Yeah, I am a maven of travel, and it sucked. I'll tell you what. The amount of money I spent just in miles on a credit card is unheard of.
Racking up the air miles, at least.
No, I used them.
Oh, okay.
From
you
the
keep
COVID
it up,
times.
you're gonna get demoted to bottom again.
Go ahead and demote me. What the fuck do I care? I don't know anything.
Stop moving it. All right. Oh my god. Okay. Amateur hour here. All right, so we're going to talk some opening week reaction. So last week we did some opening day stuff, and now we got, again, it's still a short sample size, but it is. This is when we start. You can start making moves now that are going to make a lasting impact on your team and things like that. And honestly, some of these guys that we're talking about here, maybe trade for, maybe hold, maybe go pick up, right? And guys that you drafted late. These early stats. They do matter, right? I know baseball's thing, right? Is the games in April don't matter as much. Fuck, they do. Are you kidding me? It's still a win. You can get behind so far early that it doesn't matter. But let's start off though with just a little bit of fun here, and I'm gonna let you guys run with this one because I've been on vacation and really haven't been able to use my phone because I had to save my battery in the park. Because, the Disney app, whoever's been, exactly what I'm talking about. You got to have your phone available at all times. But these pitch clock violations, the hitter clock violations, right? So what are some fun ones you guys have noticed already? And Dap, I'll start with you, man.
Well, I think what's going to go down in history as probably the only one that's not going to be broken is Ohtani being rung up in the same game for a pitch clock violation as a pitcher and then later as a batter in the same game. I thought that was amazing. On top of that, his reaction, you have to watch the video. His reaction is just typical Ohtani, kind of a bemusement, kind of a little bit like embarrassed, like I can't believe I brought shame to the game. I mean, the guy is always on point with his reaction to things. But I'm just thinking, like, who's going to do that next? Maybe one of the times where they grab a fielder as a relief pitcher or something like that. But
yeah,
man,
Jim Edmonds.
That's an awesome record to have.
First one to do it. All
Jim
right.
Edmonds is coming out of retirement to specifically do that.
Well, we already had one fielder play pitcher this year, right? Who was it? Was it a Philly?
Probably.
I thought it was
They've
the
been
Red Sox.
absolutely terrible. So, I don't know.
Either way, it was. Yeah.
Either way, yes. So, I mean, the obvious one here is Manny Machado getting thrown out of the game because of it, and I mean, it's just hilarious. It's like the amount of anger that he had behind this was almost as much anger as what he threw into the face of Yordano Ventura. God rest his soul. But this is what we're going to see here. I mean, this pitch clock it's here to stay. And speaking of the Phillies, Bryce Harper, who's not even playing yet, spoke about it with WIP, the Phillies broadcast radio station and local sports talk radio here in Philly. He thinks there's going to be changes mid-season. Now,
they've already talked about making changes at least for next season. Like it's a little it's a little chaotic.
I think it would be hard to do mid-season because, like fantasy, people are going to bitch, and it's not really right. Everybody has started to come around to this. Well, is starting to come around to it and will, but I mean, it's not something I think you can just jump into in the middle of the season, whether it's extending it or whatever. The one thing I noticed today at the game was watching the clock and then seeing the batter step out. I believe it was Anthony Rizzo stepped out multiple times in the same at bat and just kept backing up. And it's like, I thought this wasn't allowed. Like, now you can do this or whatever. I mean, there's so many little intricacies with this rule that it's a massive learning curve, and everybody's got to get used to it. Pitchers that are used to some working fast, but then when they get in the stretch working slow, it affects them. And Aaron Nola is a perfect example. I mean, he's been up and down this year. I mean, he's had some really good innings. And then he's got
kind of Aaron Nola-esque, though, honestly.
It
he
is.
Goes in stretches.
He
goes on hot streaks, but yeah.
So
I had to kind of like read through, and I'll be honest, I'm reading an article on the Athletic from Jason Stark to get kind of my up to speed, and I'm laughing at a couple of them. Braves pitcher Colin McHugh issued a walk in which he didn't know the count because he was still trying to figure out whether he got nailed for a timer violation. That's just hilarious. Like. And I keep reading on Twitter, like a couple people were like, we need, like, it seems like every ump has their own variation of how to, like, call it and, like, announce it. So, like, there's no, like, surefire. Like, this is just a complete disaster. Like, nothing's working right now.
I mean, every ump has their own methodology behind how they want to.
But, like, an out's an out, right?
Whatever.
Like, that's the thing. Or, strike.
But like, now it's like, violation.
How'd that go, AJ?
What the hell just happened? Most people are just going to think they struck out and not know what the hell happened. I mean, there does need to be some sort of consistency with this, with them implementing it, and just to make it easier on everybody. And what the hell? If you want to change rules and add this in and try to speed up the game, I'll tell you what, freaking opening day today was not a short game. I mean, there was a lot of runs scored. There was a lot going on.
8-7, whatever it was.
Yes, I think it was 8-7 or no, 7-6. Maybe 8-7.
Weren't you there?
I honestly, I spent innings 3 through probably
7-6 was the score.
Peeing multiple times and getting beer and trying to get in a line for food. It was absurd.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I will say this though, it is shortening the game. Like on average, the game length is 25 minutes shorter, and I for one love it. Like I can't watch. It's hard to watch baseball on TV. It's just a drag. I don't know. Like football games are long, and like everybody wants to point to that, but like. And I get like there's a lot of time in between plays and the timeouts and penalties stuff like that, but like just feels like the action is like just
talking though.
Yeah, like
I feel like with baseball you could just be like you just hear like this subtle like
unless you're the ESPN broadcast and they just talk about absolutely nothing in between everything. Sorry, ESPN, kind of.
The one downside.
What?
Yeah, so I think the thing is though is that with working so fast, I mean, yes, we have shortened games, but I'm really going to be interested to see kind of pitcher injuries here in the first quarter of the season, because working fast, right? You don't have as many kind of slow down moments and things of that nature. I don't know if that's going to be beneficial or not, and they only pitched so much. Well, yeah, but they pitched in a truncated thing, and if anybody's ever done exercise, right, doing it quicker. In a shorter amount of time actually kind of ups your tempo and might be throwing some other parts off. So I'm really going to be interested to see kind of the injuries that come into play here in the first like month or two while people are getting adjusted, especially.
So it's like hit pitching. You know what I mean? Like hit workouts.
Yeah, exactly.
High intensity pitching.
They should be doing squats and burpees in between pitches, just to really kind of get up that tempo.
That's funny.
So that's the first thing up. But the other thing too is, PitchCon. Right, I think it's one of the coolest things in the world because trying to see some of the other reasons people are getting violations is trying to work this technology, which is supposed to, speed the calls back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
And it's broken.
And to my favorite is the pitchers like Zach Greinke who have called their own games, and watching Zach, who of course is just crazy to begin with. But it has a great one in his last start that he had. He actually thought he hit the wrong button for fastball. Looks down, shakes himself off, and then hits the button again.
That's great.
And then strikes the guy out, and then has this facial reaction like,
no,
he's like,
I said 2.
He's like, man, I'm really good at this. He has this like look of like, go me, and I'm like, what? So Zach Greinke starts are going to become must-watch TV if he's going to continue to call his own. I think that's awesome.
That's good stuff. All right, let's move on here. AJ, we will let you get your rants out of the way early and go with the Phillies. Their slow start and the injuries. I mean, this is starting to be a brutal. I was looking at my rosters this week, and I kind of this is how I kind of caught on to them like having a rough start because again, I'm not paying attention to a lot of baseball this week because I was away. But I'm looking at box scores. I'm looking at my fantasy teams every now and then.
How you go on vacation?
But I looked at. I've got Sir Anthony Dominguez on one of my teams, and it's a saves hold leagues. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, how the hell is this clown out of a hold yet? Like, what the hell is going on? Yeah.
Well, because they have one win
until today. They have
wins.
No saves until today. Right. So like that's probably why. And I'm like, well, do I drop him? Like, what's going on with the Phillies, man? Like.
Okay, we were talking about us needing an editor. Okay, that's why. You can just cut the probably out of it. That is why. It is a simple sentence. Soto has been abysmal. He looks like he doesn't even know how to pitch anymore. Will he get it figured out? I think so. Kimbrel kind of looks like the Kimbrel that we've seen recently.
He got the save, right? That's what you were telling me, Dap?
I think he did today. Yes.
Yeah. He got their
I did
lone
not
save.
see the final box score. But his first time out, he got lit up. I just think it's some growing pains here, and again, it's early. We talk about it every year in baseball. We talk about it every year in football, but it means so much more in baseball. Do not overreact with this. Trust in your guys. If you don't trust them, then bench them. Like, until they start doing what they can do, just keep them out of your lineup, and it'll be better off for you. Schwarber is a perfect example. I mean, he was absolute dog shit this first week until the last couple of days. He's finally found this home run stride again. But he started off terribly last year for the Phillies until June, and when he hit like 21 homers in the month or whatever the hell it was absurd.
21 sounds
yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I kind of threw that out there, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty close to what it was.
And I think
I just looked it up.
Dave, by the way,
he hit 62.
Dave, I think it's giving JP anxiety too, because he keeps turning around and looking at it.
Dave. All right, Dap, just get
I got dogs that keep coming in and out. So I have dogs that keep going in and out. I have 3 of them, and so I keep looking. I'm like, oh god.
It's like is that the room they get fed in or something? Is that why you leave the door open?
No, it's just because there's nobody else here, so they're like, oh,
gotcha.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. We good.
Yeah,
no pants, lots of peanut butter. I mean, what are you doing with that pencil?
Some of my
what are you, fucking Principal Vicar over here? What are you doing?
Actually,
I agree with AJ about the don't panic on these guys. The Phillies have a good lineup. I think they'll turn it around. It is unfortunate. The injuries are what's gonna get them.
Well,
it's actually kind of knocking them, out of the race a little early. And I think that's what Dap's gonna get out of here.
And it's like, okay, Hoskins is out.
Yeah,
that sucks. Like, he's a big power guy. He's good at getting on base when he's like on in his streakiness. But then they bring in Derek Hall, and he's okay, and he can make up some of that power. And now he's injured.
Yeah. Well, he's done, right? So they announced earlier today he's having thumb surgery. So now you get Cody Clemens, who we saw with Detroit. He's not a good everyday player. I mean, maybe they find something in Philly for him. But I think it all goes back to their bullpen, right? I mean, the bullpen, everybody was like, oh, look, they have 34 closers. And we had called out in the NLT previews that having too many closers is not necessarily a good thing, especially when guys don't have a set role.
You did.
Oh, that's right. That was me.
I'll give you credit.
Our show.
And, they're dead last in ERA. It's 8.44. That was before today's game. And, their FIP, right? Their underlying metrics, just to get really nerdy here, shows that this is absolutely the number it should be at. It's not like, oh no, it's inflated. No, it's terrible.
Well, so let me ask you that. So you're mentioning that, right? So I've got Dominguez, right?
Right.
Saves hold league. Like, am I still trusting this guy to give me at least some holds? Or am I being like, I may find something else out there that's gonna get me at least something?
When it comes to bullpen, bullpen pitchers, I jump ship early. I read kind of tea leaves super early. The first dozen games, I look at usage, especially if it's a saves only. If it's saves hold, I look at if they have no idea where anybody goes. Yeah, sure, I could jump in later, but guess what? Holds are kind of dime a dozen early on when everybody's trying to figure things out. And Sir Anthony Dominguez, I think he's talented. If you can keep him while the bullpen kind of shakes out, I absolutely would. But there's just so many other places to go for holds. Basically anybody at the Astros bullpen you can grab, right? Neris.
Neris.
Any of those.
A lot of those guys are
Blanco,
gone,
Presley.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of those safe holds leagues, a lot of those guys are already gone. So, I'm looking at the guys out there, and I'm like, man, nobody's really, jumping out to me. I could go grab Kendall Graveman, and I'm like, that's not any better.
It sucks.
Not any better right now. But
not do that.
the problem, the one thing I did look at with with Dominguez too is he's actually pitched in 3 games, and all 3 games the Phillies have lost, and it's not his fault.
No.
Right.
But that's actually troubling because he's pitching in games they're behind in. So like,
Exactly.
is he their high leverage guy anymore? And I don't feel like he is.
Well, it also could be,
At least
you know,
not
it
early.
comes down to sometimes where they'd always be like, well, he needs to get some, innings under his arm.
Yeah.
But, somebody that you want to definitely get if you're looking for that holds, I was trying to find him because I just had him myself, is Chris Martin for the Red Sox. That guy's been lights out. And frankly, you're looking at a team
too,
that's,
if he's still out there somehow. But he should be
absolutely.
gone.
Sorry.
Drafted him in a few.
Yeah, I was assuming that he was gone. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But Chris
You never
Martin,
know, man. You never know.
Right. But Chris Martin's been in a bunch of close games, and he looks like nails right now. So I don't know. Sir Anthony Dominguez, look, I'm going to admit it. I haven't been a ton of teams. I haven't been a ton of teams, but I'm shaky with him right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the big problem, and it's been this way for the past few years. The Phillies go out, they try to build this bullpen with these name players that just aren't names anymore. They're that's all they are. It's like, hey, this guy used to be something. Let's bring him over here and see if he still has it. Ah, shit, he doesn't.
I like
Sir Anthony's
bullpen.
not in that because he's been there. He's not one of these like Kimbrels or Sotos. Last year they tried to do the same thing, but a perfect example is, Ryan Madsen, and he was an awesome setup guy. And we've seen this before where the setup guys are just phenomenal lockdown guys. They'll get you these holds, but then when they're forced into like a save situation, they don't know what the hell to do with it.
Exactly.
And I think that Sir Anthony kind of falls into that mold a little bit. I mean, he can save games. He's shown that he doesn't necessarily have, that fall apart, why am I in the ninth, like confusion, but they have kind of put him in different high leverage spots, and they have so many different names there now. Like they did last year, they thought they had a great bullpen, and the bullpen sucked early on, but then they caught fire. They got it together, and they were all really locked down. And
I liked this bullpen before they signed Kimbrel. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. Like
I
thought,
like
having 3 solid dudes was okay.
Fan of them signing Kimbrel, but I think he'll be okay, and he's at the point in his career where he's done everything. He's hit the milestones for the most part. He wants to win. He wants to be on a championship team again, and I love that about him and about the mentality of a lot of these guys that have come into Philly. But these injuries are troublesome for the offense, and
all right,
we can move on though.
Yeah, we do need to move on. We're running a little longer here on the Phillies talk. I kind of knew we would because it's your team, but jumping in here to some post-hype players. So we're looking at guys who, we've talked about in years past, and we want to see them do well this year. Some are, some aren't. First off, we're talking about a guy who is on absolute fire to start the season, and that is Wander Franco. Wowzers. I mean, trying to pull up his stats right now, but I believe he's got a few bombs already. I know he's stealing bases. He's hitting like over 500 or some randomness like that. So here we go. 2 home runs, although it's 3 actually counting today.
Yep.
He's hitting over 400. So yeah. 8 RBI, 5 runs, 2 stolen bases. I mean, this guy, he was a huge top prospect, number 1 prospect for a little while, right? Dap, you would probably know that better than anybody on this show right now because you're more the dynasty guy, so you follow that stuff more than I do. But
sure.
I mean, everybody was. I remember talking about him a lot this draft season. You know, it just whether it was on this show or within chats between you, me, Dave, Jason, and whoever, right? Whoever was talking about it, it's like, man, like how many times did we get to that like shortstop range with Franco, and it was like, do I do Franco or do I do, Adames, or do I do this guy or this? And everybody was like, I mean, Franco's got the highest upside, but like, you taking the injury risk because he's never played more than 83 games. So, there's that, right? He's been injured a lot. Do we think this is sustainable? Do we actually think this guy can stay healthy? I mean, I don't think obviously 417 average isn't sustainable, but do we think this like good pace is sustainable, or is he gonna go and just get injured like we all kind of expected, which is why a lot of people passed on him, including me?
Well, first off, yes, he was top prospect, number one, with a bullet. Everybody couldn't wait, to kind of, see him explode, right? And yes, injuries happen, and he's been injured a lot. And I have absolutely no way to tell you if he's not going to get injured again. However, I do want to point out he is destroying the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, the home run today, right, wasn't a cheap one, right? It was 107 miles an hour off of the bat. It went 411 feet, which is, if you look at, Willet Dong, Twitter, that's a home run in 29 of 30 MLB parks. So he's destroying the ball. Somebody else pointed out on Twitter, Matthew Willett, that he's had 6 barrels out of 29 at-bats. Why that's a big deal is all of last year, he only had 13 barrels out of 314 at-bats and 12 the year before. So he's barreling the ball. He's not swinging it at everything. I mean, he used to be a well-known free swinger, and because, frankly, he had so much talent in the minors, he could get away with that, right?
Yeah.
He's not doing it now. He's being more selective, and he's destroying it when he hits it.
It's funny. Like, I'm looking,
quality contact. It's great.
I'm looking like his K percentage is down, his walk percentage is up, like, and he's hitting the ball better when he makes like it's all starting. He's 22, starting. I mean, he came up early. Everybody forgets that, like, and that's the thing, like with guys like this, and then they get injured. It might take a while, and I'm not gonna be the only one who's gonna possibly regret passing on this guy. Like if he puts it all together, we're all gonna be like, damn, you could have had, a first round talent player potentially, in what he was probably going 6th, 7th round sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like, that's where he was going, I feel like, and so.
Yeah.
So here's here's another than that. Yeah, here's another just amazing stat I just wanted to pull up because I grabbed this from Foolish Baseball, right? So only 7, this is from yesterday, so it might change today, but only 7 qualified hitters have yet to swing and miss at a pitch inside the strike zone. Just to give you a couple names, Jose Ramirez, right, which we know, Bryce Terang. I don't know if you know this, but I love that guy.
Oh, yeah. And, me too.
And Andrew McCutchen and Wander Franco, and I hate you for stealing him again from that other league. I mean, he's not swinging and missing. This is what we've been waiting for. I just gotta stay healthy, man. Just stay healthy. Put him in a bubble. Just have him Uber everywhere. Don't let him drive. Like literally,
I'm looking at his baseball savant page.
Give him an entourage so he can crowd surf across the entourage.
Thank you.
And they never drop him.
It's funny. I'm looking at his baseball savant page. It's all reds. Yet his sprint speed is at 27%. So that's in blue. And you're like, isn't he supposed to be fast? Like, what happened?
Well, when you're walking after each home run, I think they slows down your sprint speed.
He's also not. Yeah, he's not stealing a lot yet, but he'll get there.
But you know what? Maybe they told him not to, and so he doesn't get hurt. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. So another guy,
if he has no stolen bases, I'm fine with that. Go ahead.
Another guy here we're gonna talk about here is Garrett Mitchell. He came up last year. Not great, not bad, but 28 games, couple bombs. So I mean, it was solid, but he wasn't. I mean, I'll be honest, he really wasn't drafted anywhere. Already 6 games in, he's got 3 home runs, so more than last year in 28 games.
Yep.
almost as many like runs and RBI. He's still batting 300. Like it's just incredible what he's doing. Quick thoughts on him.
I was trying desperately to entice people to trade for him in multiple dynasty leagues, and everybody was like, no. And I, was like, if he's just an average hitter this year, I would be happy. And then you forget because it's how quickly we forget, right? He was great in the minors, and he wasn't. You read some of the numbers, but he was pretty awful if you looked at it daily. And he is again killing it. I mean, you get a walk-off home run on April 5th. You're doing these kind of things, and all I can think about is, that just adds to your ability to think, yep, I am the man. Yep, I am the man, and start kind of building up on that. And he's going opposite field too, by the way. Today he went opposite field, got another RBI. I mean, he's using the whole field. That tells me he's somebody that's not only locked in, but is relaxed, right? Because it's one thing to be going up there and be like, all right, this is my strategy. But, if you got a whole bunch of stuff going on in your head, doing swing changes, whatever it may be, it's not going to happen. But, man, Garrett Mitchell looks like he's come back.
I want to say, like, I am a little surprised to see, like, I don't think the power is quite for real. Like, if you look at his minor league stats, like, he was never this guy. I mean, we're talking, 3 bombs in 35 games in 2021 for Double-A.
Sure.
5 more in 29 for A+. Like, the power wasn't there. I mean, like, we've seen it click later for guys, so maybe that's what's happening. But, to expect, this kind of power stroke the rest of the season, but to be just a good hitter the rest of the year, I could definitely see it. He was kind of always that player in the minors. That's what he was.
Right.
So,
but just real quick though, too, right? He's fast. Unlike, Franco is
he does
good
steal
too,
bases for
but
sure.
Mitchell is fast. So if he can be getting on base, even with a little bit of power, I'm happy because this guy should be stealing.
He's got a 70 speed.
Yeah,
70 speed rating for sure. So
he's not even. Maybe he's 25 or he's about to turn 25.
He's about to turn 25. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we're talking about a guy who
old.
It definitely is going to be awesome if he keeps this up.
Yeah. All right, AJ, you want to ask?
Did you say he's old past his prime? I love it.
Past his prime for a prospect, I guess. I
yeah, absolutely.
Feels like it nowadays, right? Because we get these guys coming up that are 21, they're just like superstars.
Exactly. Sure. It's like, what did I do with my life?
24. God, man. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you good yet? You suck.
Looking at the Tigers here, we've got Green, we've got Torkelson. I mean, what are your general thoughts on them so far? What they've shown or not shown?
Right. So Green sucks less than Torkelson right now. Would be the way I would encompass the season. Right.
Yes.
I had high hopes for both of them. Right. Everybody was reaching a little bit for Torque and reaching a little bit for Green. And Green is putting up counting stats while Torkelson is just doing offers. I mean, I'm not going to look. If you're doing offers as bad as they're doing right now, and I'm not going to really kind of break into the exit velocity and all this other stuff. If you're striking out, it's one of those things where I'm so hoping this isn't a Joey Dell situation, right? Where they're going to have to go down, and they're way, way too good for AAA. We've seen that, right? Green killed it, Torkelson killed it. Mm-hmm. I want this to happen. Detroit wants this to happen. They've been given basically, hey, we're not going to put you down. You do what you need to do. Put you down like that. No. But it's not there right now. And like I said, Torkelson, if you had me choose between the two, I thought Torkelson was by far the safer of the two.
Yeah, me too, actually.
And
right now it looks like maybe Green, at least he can, he's making contact.
I would agree with that. Granted,
still bad.
Where I was drafting in most of my leagues, I didn't get Torkelson. It's like, all right, I guess I'll settle for Green.
They were both
now I'm
like,
okay, I'm kind of happy with this. I mean, now to a point.
Although I'll say this, Green, I mean, like Green's striking out at a 35% rate almost.
Right.
That's at least Torque's only striking out a 17% rate. They both can't take a walk, but it's just like, what's happening here, guys? Like, I mean,
it's not.
Matt Vierling's the only guy on that team that seem to hit the ball.
Hey, Mr. Vierling is amazing. Never let him go.
Former Philly.
Yeah.
But they didn't give him a shot. Well, they kind of had to last year.
Well, because all the injuries. Yeah. But the thing is that it's one of those situations where if I'm in a dynasty league, I'm not touching those guys. Right? In the sense that I'm not trading them away. I'm keeping them because the number one thing with prospects, especially early on, is opportunity. Right? Are they going to be pushed or anything like that? They're not being pushed. Right? The Tigers have said, you have your positions. We're going to throw you out there as many times as possible, at least for now. So I would absolutely buy low. Why not gamble on it? That's 100%. But in real life, right, a season-long league, I am concerned already because, spring training, I mean, all we ever saw was, oh, my God, look at, all this exit velocity from Torque or the exit velocity of Green or he hit a home run.
Amazing spring.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, they could be quad A players. And it's funny you mentioned Joe Dell because I talked about him early, and I saw some tweet. Again, I wasn't really following it this week. I just saw some tweet go by and it was like, Joe Dell has 3 home runs. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And I watched the home run and I was like, okay. And it didn't even dawn on me that it was like no stands. it was definitely a minor league game. And I was like, that's why.
Holy crap.
Because again, he's a quad A player. He's going to destroy minor league pitching. And it's bad. So let's jump over here to a couple pitchers who Clark Schmidt and Johnny Brito for the Yankees. A couple guys adapt that you mentioned to me pre-show that you wanted to throw in here in the conversation. So what do you think about these guys? And, I think Schmidt's been a little roughed up early on.
Yes, he has.
Especially by the O's.
Today.
Yeah, look.
Actually, he did look really good. At least through the first inning and a half.
That's good.
Once that perfect game was gone, it was all gone.
Yeah, then he got
pretty
rough.
So Clark Schmidt has pitched 2 of the 3 Yankees losses, which is not good. And he was, he was a sleeper. He was somebody I wanted, right? Somebody that's going to be on a team that wins. He looked like he's going to be a, above average pitcher, and he had a rotation spot on a team that wins. But you're right, he's pitching terribly, and Johnny Brito is not.
9, that's not bad.
Brito
looks good to the point that he got sent down after his last start, which was pretty good. And then they already called him back up, so he's starting on Saturday against the Orioles. So I'm really thinking that Schmidt's spot in the rotation looks kind of wonky at the moment, unless they're going to go 6-man. Severino's already throwing from 90 feet. He might be coming back up, which again worries you about where if Brito or Schmidt is going to be, or both of them lose that thing. But Brito was throwing strikes, and Brito looked good. I'm going to be really interested because the Orioles lineup is no slouch, right? And they will absolutely mess up a mistake pitch. So right now, Schmidt is out of sleeper status and hibernation status. I picked up Brito in a lot of fab leagues just because he's cheap, and I'm going to be watching that because there's a lot of injury concern in that rotation. Let's just be honest. Severino just got hurt already, right? We don't know if he's going to get hurt again, or one of these lat injuries can always come back, especially early in the season. So if Brito's still out there, and you need somebody who has a chance to get wins, has a decent whip. At least we only had one start to see so far.
Just to let you know, I just picked him up in our league. All 3 of you. All 2 of you. I mean, all 3 of us. I can count, I swear to God.
The only thing that sucks about talking about guys, right? Yeah, Brito's awesome, and I just took him.
I was like, as you're talking,
Joe's like,
totally
and gone.
And Bryce Trang, I took him. Yeah, great. Thanks, Joe. But
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, like I said, Schmidt, I was actually kind of worried watching his delivery. I was like, wow, okay, he should be getting called for balks with these new rules or whatever. Like, he's got a lot of goofy foot shakes and everything, and I mean, he looked really good in that first inning, and then it just kind of came off. But I still think that he's got some upside. But I agree that Brito's the way to go right now. And once Severino comes back and starts pitching again, it's going to be a battle between these guys. So I think Schmidt's got more work to do right now. For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so next year we talk about post-hype guys. So the guys that like once were prospects, now they're not. Let's move over to some prospects that we like, and we already mentioned one earlier, but we got Corbin Carroll, Anthony Volpe, Brian Terang. I think Carroll and Volpe are, not having a start I think a lot of us were hoping for.
No.
What?
Who
wants to start with any of these guys? Like, what do we think about either one of these guys? AJ, you want to take the floor with this one?
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of glad that I missed out on Carroll right now, and I think that that's going to come back to haunt me later. But it's their prospects. That's what they are, and Volpe's been really good so far from what I've seen out of him. He's got a ton of hype with him. I think his third cousin's second daughter was at opening day for him, cheering him on with weird pom-poms or some shit. It's like the hype behind him has been crazy. But he looks good, and I could buy into it a little bit. Terang, like I said, I knew that you picked him just to spite Dap.
I totally did.
And I don't blame you for that one bit.
I also did a little homework on him too and realized, oh yeah, this dude is for real.
yeah. He's been phenomenal. But like I said,
I mean, I'm not gonna pick him just because you mentioned his name. I did a lot of
homework in reading Dap's notes and was like, damn, okay,
yeah, exactly.
He's done a lot of good research on this.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks.
Shit. All right, I gotta take this.
So Volpe, I was excited about, right? And who can't not be excited about it? It's a feel-good story. He's 5'9". This kind,
you got him super late too. So
right, okay. And and he has a low number for the Yankees, and that's a big deal because they don't have any low numbers left that haven't been retired. Right, he's wearing the number 11. But the thing is that these strikeouts are starting to creep up. Right, he's had 5 in the last 2 games. He's only had 1 hit in the last, I think, 5 games. Right. So that's concerning. We know he's going to slump at some point. It's going to be how he recovers. I'm going to be really interested to watch that because, the Yankees, as you know, the Yankees faithful love a good story, but they also love to turn on you quickly. So they're going to, they're like, oh, why is he starting? Why does he have, shortstop pretty quick? And it's not like they don't have a ton of shortstop prospects.
You're not cheating.
In the minors. And Peraza's still sitting down there. So they could easily bring him up, and it would work out pretty well for them. Yeah, I am concerned about Volpe more than I am Carroll. I think, they gave Carroll the contract. They're not they're going to dude, you're going to play. Yeah. we're not going to pay you this money to go sit down in the minors. Right. Terang, I think the talent is there. Right. Is he going to stay on this pace? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he'll be okay, but I don't know if he's going to be lights out like he is right now. But and again, honestly, we were talking before, Terang's most of his stats have come from one game. The Grand Slam game.
Absolutely. Exactly. You take that one ridiculous performance out. I mean, he's right in line with these other guys. I feel like. We're still honestly because we're still ahead of them. But
so if you rank it,
I think
Carroll's, if you rank them
Carroll's going to come around.
Absolutely. And if you rank them by worry rank, right? Carroll would be the least worry because we've already seen him play, at 100 some at bats. He's had a chance to adjust. He knows what he's looking at, and his speed is astronomical. I have absolutely no concerns there.
Yeah.
Terang is definitely number 2. It's not even 1A, it's 2 because Carroll's in its own category. He's way up here. And then Volpe. I mean, it's the Yankees. It's New York media. There's a lot of things there for a young guy that if he starts to struggle, he's going to start hearing a lot of different things.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
The opening day crowd was phenomenal for him, but they're going to turn on him quick.
Yep.
So another group of players here, and we've already gone kind of long, so let's rip through these pretty quick here.
Sure.
The two Japanese guys that came over, Yoshi, I just want to call it that. Kind of shout out to your shirt there, by the way, because you're wearing the Nintendo style shirt. So the Yoshi, I know it's not him, but
that's a Yankee shirt.
It's not, but it's a Nintendo style shirt. Oh, sure, Jay, you know what I meant. And then Senga, another
fucking guy.
Video game.
Who invited you?
These guys, man, they've come out and they're balling already, man. Dap, what's your thoughts on these guys? Get 30 seconds on each one.
Yeah. So thanks. So Yoshida really has two stolen bases. He's walking a bunch. He's only striking out at single digits. I didn't expect that. I expected him to struggle, and he's not doing it. He's also being very affable in the clubhouse. He's high-fiving people. He's not being the super serious guy, even though he never was. You see that sometimes, right? And then Senga, because somebody tweeted this out, and they should absolutely put Sega as the intro kind of thing to him. But Senga looks legit too, right? I mean, just he's striking people out. He's filling up the strike zone, and that ghost pitch.
Yeah, what's that weird? The ghost slider?
Forkball.
Ghost
forkball.
Yeah, it's forkball.
First of all, the forkball just sounds like a crazy pitch. Then you add ghost to the front of it. It's like, what in the world?
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
And again, I thought it was just some baloney, hyped up thing that major leaguers are gonna. They might still adjust to it, but right now he's getting tons of swing and misses on it. In fact, I think a majority of his strikeouts actually have come on that pitch. Coming out. So again, it's just I did not call that. I thought they're going to struggle early on, and they're doing amazing out of the gate.
Yeah. I was higher on Yoshi, being able to come in and be a solid producer, especially from a fantasy standpoint, earlier on than Senga. But wow, I mean, I was kind of blown away by Senga's game, and that ghost forkball. I mean, I think people are going to try to pick up on it sooner rather than later. And I mean, it's interesting to see what's going to come with it. Is he going to get figured out too quick and whatnot, and then just fall off? The fact that he's a Met and I'm a Phillies fan, I would love that. But from a fantasy standpoint, I wouldn't. I think he's I didn't have him ranked very high in my own personal.
It's hard to rank these guys that come over because it's such hit and miss with these guys.
You just don't know. I mean, they're such wild cards.
After one start with Senga, would either of you try to go trade for him?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you'd buy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, depending on the price, right?
Right, of course. But is he somebody you would try to target and see if you could get him?
I think it would. Right. It would definitely depend on the price, but I wouldn't be afraid of it because again,
it looks good.
As much as it pains me to say, the Mets are a good team. I will not call them great because, sorry, hashtag suck a Keith. I don't even know if you like the Mets, but I feel like he probably should.
I think he actually is a Mets fan.
Yeah, he probably is.
Now that you say that.
But yeah, I think it's. I mean, they are a good team. They've got good offense.
Yep.
They're gonna score runs. They're gonna give him run support. I wouldn't mind going after him. No.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Next guy up, and I mean.
Yes.
It's funny. I almost put him, and I'm glad I took him out at the last second. I almost put it in the pitching planner as a sit. Oh, I would have been I hit on 80% of my pitching planner.
Right.
That would have knocked it down to like 60%.
Do you know anything?
Marcus Stroman.
Oh, no. You skipped the Jesus.
Well, sorry. Yes, I did.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, but no. That would not have been a say. I did skip it. My bad.
Yeah. No.
But Marcus Stroman would have been in my pitching planner as a sit. He's just a guy to me. Like, he's never really like wowed me. He's been sort of an average. He'll have like really bad games, really good games. Never been a high strikeout pitcher.
No.
What the hell? He's got 14 in what? What would we say? 12 innings so far? Like, where did this come from? No runs allowed?
He's still not a high strikeout guy. I don't care. I don't care what he has right now. It's 2 starts. Dude, he is... And I've been a big Stroman fan when he was up with Toronto, but he burned me multiple times with the... more because of injury.
I mean, Milwaukee's... I wouldn't say they're a great offense, but they're above average. And then Texas, they're not superstar offense, but they're above average. So he hasn't faced like
the Phillies,
chumps. He's not he's not facing the Royals, right? He's not facing those types of teams. Like, he's facing
it's been
good offenses, and he has completely shut them down.
Yeah,
he's shut them down completely. Like, is there something to this, and that we should be maybe buying into Marcus Stroman a little bit more this season?
I'm not against it.
Either.
I do think
I wouldn't.
Like I said, I've always kind of been a fan of his, and always kind of gotten burned. He's one of those guys where you love him when he's on, and you're super pissed off at yourself for starting him when he's off.
I mean, that's any pitcher, but yeah.
Well, yes, but I don't know. For me, he's different than that. Like, every pitcher, like certain guys, I've thrown out there, been like, all right, I feel like he's going to hit, and not been confident. But Stroman was a guy that I had a lot of confidence in early on, and he's come back around. So I still don't know if I believe in the case.
2 stars got you, AJ? I don't know, man. Dad, what do you think, man? Like,
I don't know, man.
2 stars making you believe in Stroman this year?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still concerned. The whole thing, right, was that he was going to give you ratios, but he wasn't going to strike anybody out.
Kind of.
And now he's kind of striking people out. So I don't know if that's just early season, how pitchers are ahead of hitters and trying to figure stuff out, or what is going on there. I was trying to look up something on him in the sense that I thought there was something about a new pitch or something, but no, I don't see what it is. Look, again, it's one of those things where I bought him a couple places because I was able to get him super late in drafts.
Yeah.
And again, he's gonna, has a roster spot. He was my SP4, SP5 on my, on my rotation that I had. Again, if he's cheap, he might get some, he might pile up the wins. He's an anomaly. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm always excited when guys outperform, but I do,
The average launch angle on his hits is negative 4.3.
Wow.
I've never seen that before. I mean,
what?
Yeah.
Negative 4.
That means they're literally hitting it straight down. So,
okay.
I mean, there's something to that, I guess.
Did he
I don't know.
Add a ghost forkball or something that we don't know about?
Yeah. Who knows, man? I really don't know what it is with him. Like, I was in on Stroman, his early years in Toronto, and had a couple good seasons there, and so I started buying in, and it just disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. He'd go on short little spurts, but it's hard to buy back in on him, and he's playing for a Cubs team who kind of went in on this like middle-aged type player, renaissance, whatever you want to call it, and so maybe it's gonna work. Who knows? But It's really hard to believe in this team. I feel like they're going to be like in the playoff hunt randomly just because they have like talented guys, but maybe they're just looking to like, hey, maybe 2 or 3 of these guys are going to hit, and then we're going to trade them all for prospects and rebuild that way. I kind of feel like that's what the Cubs are trying to do, but who knows? It's the Cubs lately. We don't know what they're trying to do. But the guy I passed on, Jesus Luzardo, man. Talk about a dude who is absolutely crushing. I was all over this guy in every draft I could get him because he was falling way farther than I thought he should. Another guy who, we talked about guys, if he can just stay healthy, right, will be phenomenal. Wander Franco was the guy we talked about earlier. This guy can stay healthy. He is going to be good, I feel like, really, really good. And I had him last year in a couple of leagues, and when he was healthy, he was great. AJ, what you? Oh, sorry, Depp.
No.
I'm taking this because he's an Oakland A. And even though I have a Yankees thing on, I love the Mario thing. But yes, he's an Oakland A.
Anymore.
He used to be an Oakland A's.
Not anymore.
He used to be Oakland
I
A's.
know.
Right. And then, of course, like all Oakland A's players, apparently lately, they're going to the NL East. But the thing is always about his health, right? But the thing is that he is not just like softballing the ball up there. Right? He's only given up 1 earned run. He has 15 strikeouts. But just, again, his Savant page is just destruction of what he's allowing to have happen right now. He's not allowing hard contact. His hard contact numbers are down. His exit velocity numbers are down compared to last year. Again, it's only 2 starts. But there's a lot to like there, and exactly what you said earlier.
Swinging strike rate
just
is up.
Stay healthy.
Great.
Please, just stay healthy. That'd be amazing. And one thing I do want to just quickly mention about Stroman, and I wonder if this is something that we should also, bring up about some of these other guys. Yes, people got hurt at the World Baseball Classic, of course, right? Diaz for one, but Stroman pitched insanely well during the World Baseball Classic, and I just wonder if him ramping up earlier just got him ready, right? He had a 4.2 innings pitched against Puerto Rico. There's only 2 strikeouts, but no walks, 2 hits. And again, I just wonder if those kind of things
you expect those
these
two.
types of players.
It's funny because it's like the opposite for Merrill Kelly, right? Merrill Kelly was only going 3 innings every game, and he's struggling early on. He can't get past 3 1/3, 3 2/3 right now. And I mentioned that in the pitching planner this week was his struggles were going to not because granted he was playing the Dodgers, so that was like he pitched against them twice. He actually pitched well, but he already came out and said, "I'm not up to speed. I'm not at full strength. I can't go long." And so, and we've already seen it. Like his pitch count is way down, and so it might have worked out for Stroman, but like still only going 4 1/3 isn't a lot for these guys. Like they're most of these guys in the spring, if they're really ready for the season, are gonna go 5, maybe 6 in their last start to make sure they get that pitch count into the 70s and the 80s. Kelly and I'm guessing even Stroman never got there. So the fact that Stroman is doing this is pretty phenomenal. But back to Luzardo, man. Like Luzardo is a guy I really love. Like his strikeout rate last year was 10.5, over 10.5, over 10.5 this year. Again, and now you said it, Dap. Like his hard hit rate's way down, soft rate is way up, swinging straight rate is up. Like all the metrics are saying this. He's better, and we forget again. Like he's still a young guy. Like 26, 25 and a half.
The metrics were there when he was with Oakland. He was a guy that I targeted in Dynasty League.
He just he had too many rough
way back
games.
when. I was like stoked when I got him, and then he just fell off because of the injuries. But he's back. He's on a team who we know has.
They could develop
great
pitchers.
Pitching players. So, Miami, they don't have a great offense behind it. But if he can get the quality starts, which I think he can, the strikeouts are there already, and they're going to continue to be there. So he's going to get those quality appearances. He's going to get those quality starts. What's his offense? He's got John Birdie. I mean, cool. Guy's not even an everyday player, but
you don't say.
Whatever.
If anybody tried to target him in the offseason, I don't know if anybody would have targeted him in the offseason. That's definitely something that
I don't know. I don't know much about it, but Birdie, it's a fun name. It's a fun name. So I like fun names. I would draft him because of that and look at his steal numbers, but I digress. I digress.
Yeah.
All right. I love Luzardo, and I'm all in on him.
I'm hoping he stays healthy. That's all I gotta say. So, Depp, this was kind of something you wanted to bring up here, and the Cardinals just struggle bus of pitching here, man. Like, what do we do here? This is a team that usually has very good pitching.
And
now, are we worried that this is going to carry on throughout the season, or they got to figure this out? I mean, Flaherty's been terrible. Mikolas has been bad.
Excuse me, sir. Flaherty has a 1.8 ERA, which I was blown away by because I thought he was being as awful as he was. But look, I'm worried because the average age for the St. Louis starting pitching is like 96. So we just know that at any time.
Thanks, know.
Okay, so you want try to make me look wrong with the fact that Flaherty's struggling. But you do realize he walked.
He didn't try to. He done did.
No.
Get there.
He walked. He walked more batters than he struck out.
I was
somehow got out of that crap.
Yeah, I was purposely trying to bait you.
6 walks to 3 strikeouts, and somehow had a 0 ERA.
Huge.
Lucky mofo.
Awesome stats.
Crap.
I mean, come on. That's why you just look at ERA. You don't look at any other stat. You just look at ERA, and that's how you know a good pitcher. I mean, he's terrible.
That's what I did when I played Nintendo Baseball in 1992.
Yeah. Right. The other thing is that on top of that, right, you have control pitchers like Miles Mikolas, right, who I got late. It was my SP4, SP5.
Yeah, man, same with me.
Drafts. He has a whip over 2. He's allowing almost 400 average for hitters. I mean, they're just teaming off. He's at 9.64 ERA. That's just nuts. Steven Matz, another guy you thought, okay, this is safe. Right. So far, he has 7 strikeouts.
Jordan Montgomery.
Except that, he has a 2 whip.
AJ.
I mean,
jeez, turn Mike.
Steven Matz.
So you have Jordan Montgomery, which is another guy. And then Jordan Hicks.
Late.
Jordan Hicks was a guy that I was like, you know what? He could kind of be like, the next guy up. Take a guess what his whip is. It's 3.23. I mean, this is
say like 3.5. I didn't know.
Right. This is nuts. I mean, you can't win like this at all. Their identity is, pitching with some offense. And yes, everybody was excited about Jordan Walker. But if you're getting blown out every game when your guys come up to hit, it doesn't matter how many Jordan Walkers you have. It's just not going to happen. And look, Nolan Gorman, another great guy that, we had called out previously. We called him out, our free agent. We called him out on our free agent article this past week, and he had those 2 home runs in the game. Again, he's going to have 6 home run games if they're going to catch up to some of these players if their pitching sucks this
Let's go, Donovan.
Hey, man, Mikolas, control pitcher, 11.5 K per 9 rate. That's like double his career average. That ain't working. He needs to go back to what he's good at. Stop it. Stop trying to strike out guys.
I'm going to change my philosophy this year. And I'm gonna really suck. So it's gonna take a while. Just be on board with me, guys.
All right, so moving over here to some hitting, and a guy that was such an anomaly in this offseason, O'Neal Cruz, coming out, maybe not like gangbusters here, but a good start. And the reason is not so much home runs and steals, which is what people were like, oh yeah, that's what he can do. Like, I mean, he'll hit the cover off the ball for sure.
Right.
The thing that really strikes out, or calls out to me, is he's walking. Like, he's not striking out 11 times. He's walked almost as many times as he's struck out already so far this year.
He has figured out the art of patience.
It's what, five walks to 6 strikeouts this year already? If he can continue to do that, Dap, I believe you are all in, right?
Look, his on base percentage right now is 333, right? And I just would buy so much into this. If we're talking
higher now after today's game.
Well, even better. Yeah. If he's getting on base that much, I'm a huge buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, and we talked about it a few times, AJ, you and I, like in the off-season shows, that this guy is one of those, he could easily go like 30-30. He's got that type of athletic. He's probably one of the, if not the most athletic player in baseball. The dude's a monster. He's 6'7", I believe. Guy's huge.
Yeah.
Fast. Hit the like every time he hits the ball, it's just like oh.
Yeah, he's as tall as really Aaron Judge.
Like,
right? So he's as
tall
as Aaron
Judge
at
the same time.
Right. He's fat, and that's the thing. He's fast too. And his max exit velocity last year was 122 miles an hour. I mean, that's insane.
So nasty. What is it? I believe he's already got a pretty nasty hit ball.
Yeah, he had went 111 miles an hour already. But the thing is that, his barrel percentage is not great at the moment. He was 15% last year, 40% the year before, but with nothing. But again, his sweet spot rate is pretty good. His expected base batting average is higher than it was all of last year. If he can just be more selective,
here's a question for you, Depp. Right. Knowing this kind of like, hey, he can take walks. The potential. Would you, if you have him, are you dangling him out there, being like, hey, here's a guy who might be figuring it out. What do you want? What do you want? What are you going to give me?
If I'm getting a vast overpay, like somebody who thinks Corbin Carroll is sucking now, absolutely, give it to me. Give me Corbin Carroll and another.
They were going around the same value in drafts, actually.
Oh, they absolutely were. Oh my God, O'Neill. I mean, look,
that's why it's a fair trade,
right? But it's not.
I didn't either one. I thought they were both like super risky at that point. I just wasn't in on it there. But I'm risk adverse when I draft early. Like in early rounds, I'm risk adverse. Later, I'm going to take my chances. Right.
Sure. Right.
I mean,
some years it works, some years it doesn't. It is what it is.
Actually,
So
you're looking at a guy who's the same height as Aaron Judge, but he's 62 pounds lighter than Aaron Judge. So I guess that means he runs more? No.
His bat weighs 62 pounds.
Exactly. Yeah. He carries a heavy stick.
Oh, brother. All right. Moving on here. Let's talk about some O's. And another guy.
Some O's, hon.
Two speedsters who have come out like gangbusters with this these new rules. Jorge Mateo and Miles Straw. First one to 100 bases over. Who do we got here, man? These guys have both come out like crazy. They, I mean, we talked about these guys, man. Like Jorge Mateo, like I don't know, was last year for real? Nobody believed
he was a big sell. I mean, nobody thought he was gonna get full playing time. I mean, unless I missed it, like very few people called that, right? He was going to be a part-time player. No. He wasn't going to have enough at-bats. The stolen bases weren't good. I mean, he was going to get stolen bases, but would he ever get on base, right? And Miles Straw was the same thing. He was going to be
Miles Straw, is he going to play at all? Like, he was bad.
Will Brennan was going to push it for playing time, and every article I saw was the light hitting Miles Straw, which he is. That was his problem with the Astros and everywhere he played. Well, I think Miles Straw likes competition because he is playing like a man who's about to lose his job. Jorge Mateo is playing like Jorge Mateo from last year, so there's not really much else there.
Yeah,
he's just better, but pretty
He'll do the same.
You know what just shocked me? And I've been out for a week, so I apologize for not knowing this right now.
Yeah,
I just sorted it by stolen bases. Gleyber Torres is at the top of the league with Straw at 5.
Wow,
what?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
I would have not called that.
No, I was not expecting that at all.
No?
What?
Does that count today?
No, this is Fangraphs, so they never count today's stats.
I mean, Gleaver's just.
Gleaver's thing.
I mean,
again, another guy who likes competition,
no
apparently, right?
What. Absolutely. But look, and again, Gleyber saw what happens if he waits around too much. All spring training, he saw all the people that are supposed to replace him. So I think maybe it put a fire in him. But let's talk about this.
Miles Straw just stood up against a random barbed wire fence with a cigarette and a cowboy hat and was like, okay.
If you are in a league, like AL-only leagues, obviously Mateo and Straw should be on your team. If you are in a shallow 10-teamer,
or deep bench.
Deep bench, definitely go pick them up. I would still, if you have to drop somebody, depending on who you're dropping, I would hesitate at the moment, but I would pick Mateo over Straw any day of the week at the moment, because we've seen Straw for season long, and he just, he has like a 185 batting average or whatever.
I mean, I dropped Trace Thompson for Straw a couple days ago. It was like, Thompson's barely playing. When he does, he hits nothing, or he hits 3 bombs, and good luck figuring it out. So I was okay with that one.
You're looking at the Reese Hoskins of these guys.
So who do you think is going to have
hot streak, and that you're cashing in on? So
out of these two, who do you think? My dog is coming over here trying to tell me to let her out.
That's okay. This show needs more dogs.
Yeah.
Look, Jorge, of the two, Jorge Mateo is your your buy.
No. I was gonna say who at the end of the season who has more steals.
Mateo all day.
AJ.
I'm going Straw, man.
I'm going Mateo.
All right, I'm writing this down. So you're gonna owe me money, AJ. All right.
We didn't put money on it, but
we did.
Okay,
if you come to the expo, he'll buy you a beer. All right. Next up here, Mr. Hot Start, Mr. Old Man, out of the guys we've been talking about, Adam Duvall. Wow. He was
the ageless wonder.
Thank you, Paul Sporer, for bringing attention on this show to Adam Duvall as one of his late round guys for outfield. I did snatch him up in a couple of leagues because of that.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, it was one of those like, kind of forgot about him. I'm not gonna lie. And he was definitely a dart throw. He could work, he could not. Do I think a 458 average is gonna happen? Hell to the no.
Yes.
But if it drops to like 250. Yeah, that's going to be a massive drop, but I still think this guy could smash, 20, 25, 30.
His whole career is what he's done is smash the ball and suck at everything else. So
he worth holding on to, or is he a early sell for you, Dap?
I am absolutely trying to sell him where I can because of one important factor. He's 34 years old.
Right.
That just doesn't. I mean, that tells me that we've seen kind of what he can do. He has seasons with 500 slugging percentage, but then around that or so. But then the OBP is like sometimes 193, sometimes it's 300, sometimes it's 250.
You down with OBP?
Yeah, I think that we're talking about somebody that it's a sell high. If you can get something good for him, absolutely. And again, if he's your fourth outfielder, I mean, keep him all day. But it's somebody who seems rejuvenated by the clubhouse. Seems rejuvenated by, the Boston faithful. Even though he was at Atlanta, it wasn't like it was a terrible spot to be in. It wasn't like Oakland.
These guys suck. Nobody wants to win anything here.
But I mean, if he's leading the league in everything right now, you're not going to have a 142 slugging percentage and a 1.5 OPS. I mean, it's just insanity right now.
Absolutely nuts. And yes, Mike, I know my camera's fuzzy. We got hopefully only about 10 minutes left, if that.
Yeah, your camera looks like
I bent down to pet my dog for a minute, and now it's all blurry. So I apologize. Yeah,
that's
next guy up here.
You got
AJ, you can.
Brian Anderson. I mean, I feel like we've talked about Brian Anderson for years as a supplemental fill-in corner infielder / outfielder kind of guy. And he's been just a guy. He'll get you some stats and that, but holy crap, this guy's mashing right now. I mean, again, obvious sell high candidate. What do you think, Dan?
Well, first off, I mean, are you telling me that a guy with a lifetime 258 batting average, at 343 on base percentage and a 416 slugging is a sell high right now with a 1,000 slugging percentage and a 500 batting? I mean, that's nuts. Of course, he's a sell high.
I don't know though.
18 at bats.
Talking about
18 at bats right now. From yesterday, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. I mean, he's not. No, but again,
he's not good right now. So
I mean, look.
Well,
he's in Milwaukee. Now, it's a better hitting park.
Right. He's not. Nobody's pushing
him.
Nobody's pushing him right now. So I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm gonna have to say that
you can
sell high a little on him
out of Miami, but can you take the Miami out of the batter if you infuse it with cold brews and a slide in the stadium and a guy with a mustache?
The thing that's really helping him though right now is his walk rate is almost double what his normal ratio is. It's 17%. His exit velocity was 93, which is nuts because he's typically the high 80s, and his hard hit percentage is over 55%. So yeah, but what's really kind of helping him right now, and I need to look at Milwaukee Park, is he's hitting almost everything dead center. 78% of his hits are dead center. So I need to look at Milwaukee Park. Is that where like the power alley is there? Because he's on
dead
something.
Center's not good. That's not what you want to do.
Yeah,
exactly. I didn't think it was
a power alley in dead center in any park. But
exactly. So that's why I'm like, what's going on there? But look, again, sell high, absolutely. But again, if you're not getting the price, then sure, write him another week and see if you can get a better price. But yeah. He's at 30. I don't expect suddenly a crazy breakout to occur.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll go back to bench streamer type of player eventually. But yeah, I mean, take it while you can get it. I don't really see anybody buying into this either, unless they really don't know what the hell they're doing. So.
So I'm
take it while you can get it. Last thing I want to mention here is something else that you brought up here pre-show, so we added it, is a couple deeper dive pickup players, and these are guys that are going to be a little preview into the waiver wire article and video that's coming out. Little deep dive pickups, and you got a couple guys here that you wanted to mention as guys maybe that. If you're in the right type of size league or deep benches, these are 2 players you really need to focus on.
Right. Look, I get that we have a lot of people that are in like 10-teamer kind of, friend leagues, right? And if you want to show off to your friends, go to your waiver wire right now and grab Brett Baty and Alvarez for the Mets. Both of them are coming up pretty darn soon. Alvarez because of injury, and Brett Baty because Eduardo Escobar just sucks. Brett Baty should have broken with the team. I mean, broken with spring training. There was absolutely no reason for him to get sent down unless they wanted to just add another year, and get more reps in AAA is what they said. But no, Baty's tearing it up already, and Alvarez is going to come up, depending on the league, most likely as a utility only. And then he's going to pull catcher eligibility quickly after that. So you have a catcher / any player. They're going to move him around probably. So show off to your friends. Pick them now. They're gonna hit, and they're gonna hit a lot. I have complete confidence in Brett Baty and Alvarez's bat.
So Alvarez,
there's a lot of people who thought he was going to break camp.
Yeah. He was already recalled today prior to today's game. He did not play, but he's already called up, so he's there. And yeah, I mean, he's the real deal. I like Alvarez a lot. The guy I've been tracking in Dynasty leagues. Unfortunately, I don't own him anywhere, so I've just been following and waiting for people to drop him so I could just snake in and grab him. Beatty's same deal. He's been he was dealing with
a thumb injury. But he got put back in the lineup, so it sounds like he's okay.
Can I just one of my favorite stat lines though is from April 1st from Patty. Is he went 4 for 4, hit an opposite field grand slam that was 112 miles an hour off of his bat, and it he's hitting over 500. AAA. Like the guy needs any more at bats in AAA. Like just bring him on.
I mean, he needs at least like 16 or 17 more.
Right.
I'm not. I don't know.
It
I'm
needs
not
to be April 12th. With that date? I mean,
yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Look,
we all know how that goes.
I see it. Let's call it right now on the show. I pick April 14th.
Sure.
Because it's Friday. And I have total insight.
Come up for the.
He just text me right now.
Are they at home that weekend? Usually when they want to bring up. They want to bring up these guys when they're at home. It seems like.
I mean,
but I could be wrong. I don't know.
14th looks good because the Mets are off on the 13th. So
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Give them the road trip. Give them the best ride.
I'm gonna go with 17th. Just to.
All right, 17th. All right, and then the Mateo straw bet as well. So I'm gonna have a lot of group.
It's gonna be Straw. Straw's gonna win that.
You just better hope he actually plays the whole year. Well, I was gonna say, so they're away that week, so it maybe they bring him up. I don't know. Do they wait till the 25th where they're back at home against the Nats?
No.
25th.
I mean,
just
they like to bring these. They like to bring these guys up when they're at home, but I could be wrong. But anyway, all right, we got to end it.
I just placed my bet on DraftKings for this DraftKings. When you're making bets with your friends, you
should be holding your Tito's vodka thing at the same time while you're doing this.
DraftKings
brought to you by Tito's vodka.
Brought to you by.
Just kidding. We don't know that.
With a small
the Tito's DAP minute.
Oh, we're gonna lose DAP to DraftKings now. Thanks. All right. Great. So DAP, before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find you and what you got in the wings for Fantasy Six Pack this
Nope, no problem. Yeah, so I like I said, I have the DAP pick of the week for the Fab article that's coming out, I believe tomorrow. Also, I'll be doing the Fab show, and then we also have some other great YouTube content coming out as well. So definitely keep checking out the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and more importantly, send a comment about how much you like me over everybody else, so that so that Joe knows, because my mom's put a bunch of comments in and Joe saw it right away. But, please put some comments and just like me over AJ. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Well, I don't know if your mom does like you over me, but
she doesn't. That's true.
You'll have to ask her.
Oh, my gosh.
You'll have to ask her.
All right.
Anyway, I stole beer from the stadium, and by stole, I mean I bought. I'm afraid to look at my Apple Pay tomorrow. Once everything comes into full effect. And
what's happening? Did we ask you about this?
No, you don't have to, Joe. Good night.
Yep. See y'all later. See y'all next week. Peace.
Later.